Welcome back to Sorting the Money Thing. This episode we're going to look at what is our tithe. What is a tithe? We've spent a few weeks on tithing now, and that's primarily because it's so misunderstood in today's world. And I really want you to get a great understanding of what a tithe is and how a tithe works in today's society. What is a tithe? The best descriptor for what a tithe is, I think, is 10% of our gain. That's 10% of our gain. We already commented on the fact that Jesus rebuked the Pharisees about the pedantic nature that they had toward tithing instead of some of the greater things, i.e. wherever, whenever, being like Jesus. But nonetheless, tithing is still a practice that is of God, and it's a pattern for us to follow. Tithing is 10% of our gain. What's that mean? It means 10% of your salary, or 10% of your wages, or 10% of your profit. A lot of people treat tithing like it's a tax. It's not a tax. Tithing is God's 10th, and it was His 10th in the first place. It was never ours. It's about returning what is His to Him. The next question, of course, that always comes is, well, then do I tithe on my gross income or on my my net income? In other words, do I tithe on what I receive before I pay tax or after I pay tax? I'm not even going to answer that question. I think that's a conscience issue. It's up to you, and it's between you and God. I'm not a legalist when it comes to it. I believe in the principle of tithing. You can work that out for yourself. However, I will say this. If you cannot tithe when you are earning little, you will find it very difficult to tithe when you are earning more. When you have more, you tend to have more of everything, and more costs, in other words. And tithing gets harder, actually, with the more that you earn. So it's a practice that you need to put in place as soon as you can and make it part of your lifestyle. The practice of tithing is simply this. It's saying, we're saying yes to God. You are my supplier. It's not actually dependent on me. It's dependent on you, and I give back to you the 10th that has been provided to me. Think about this. Christians live under the same promise as the Jewish people lived under, the promise of Abraham. Approximately 0.2% of the globe's population are Jewish, but over 12% of the world's billionaires are Jewish. You do the math. Apparently over 55% of the world's wealth is held by Christians. I think tithing is our connector to heaven's economy.